So, good evening, everyone, and I'm Shulipta here. And without wasting much time, let's get started with C++. So, you all must be wondering, what is C++? And there already exists some other languages like C. So, what is the need of C++? So, basically, C++ is world's one of the most popular used programming languages, and it is an extension to the existing C language. It was developed by Björn Strostrup, and it is helpful in building very high performance applications that are available in many platforms. Like it gives high level of control over system resources and memory, and all this is possible because it is an object oriented programming language. Now, what is that? So about this we will be learning in our further classes. What it does is it allows the code to be reused. That is, you only need to write the piece of code once and you can reuse it whenever you want further in future. And thereby it lowers the development cost. And in day-to-day's world, like C++ can be found in like almost every platform, like operating systems, graphical user interfaces, and embedded system. So how to get started, like from how and where to begin with? So to code in C++, you need a text editor just like Notepad and a compiler like GCC. So what a compiler does is whatever we write in text editor, it converts it into such a form that can be understood by the computer. Or you can go for integrated development environments like IDE that are available online, and you can also install it in a PC and use. But thing is, whenever you go for online, just be careful because there are actually a limited functionality over there. So I would suggest to install and use it in a PC. So whenever you create any C++ file, it goes with the extension .cpp. Like normally whenever we create any file in our PC, we just give any name to that file. So just like that, give any file name and with the extension .cpp, your C++ code file is created. So here is a piece of code and it has got some hash include and something is there with semicolon, braces and all. So what are all these? So I'll be explaining you what each of these lines mean and how the output hello world is generated. So first of all, let's go with the hash include IOStream. So what it is actually, it is a preprocessor directive. Okay, so to begin with, hash include directs the preprocessor to include whatever is there with the IOStream. Now this IOStream is a header file library. That is, when a C++ code or program we run, like many minor small number of operations are there, and all these functions are together combined and provided to us in form of library. Like whenever we want to use something, we include that header file and we can get all those functionalities available at there only. So preprocessor directives are commands that supply to the preprocessor, and there is no semicolon at the end of this command. Mark this because this is actually important. There is no semicolon at the end of this line, that is hash include IOStream. And as I said, like every library is referred with the help of the header file. So next is using namespace std. So what it does is it makes it possible using the names for objects and variables from the standard library. You can use this line or else you can go for std colon colon before using any object from the header file. Like here I have written C before cout I have written here std colon colon, but it's actually everyone is lazy, so why not to write only one line instead of like writing std and all. So it's your choice, but if you are not getting it what is this actually, so just remember that these two lines hash include IOStream and using namespace std goes with every piece of C++ code. So next coming in the integer main. So it is a function where actually the execution of the program begins. Like whatever is inside these curly brackets, the execution starts from that point. And here comes the cout. So as you see, I'm pronouncing it see out, not out. So yeah, it's just remember that. An object that is used together with the insertion operator to output or print any text. As you can see, like here, it is hello world. So the output will be hello world because we have given that using that object and we want it to print hello world. So we are using cout. It is an object actually. So what you need to remember is every C++ statement ends with a semicolon. And the compiler ignores white spaces. What we mean by white spaces is the normal space, because here you can see from the beginning of the curly bracket till the end, like from the beginning until cout, there is some spaces. So the compiler just ignores it and considers what is written after from the point where it is cout written. So at the end there is return 0 and that marks the end of the main function. Now coming to what is C++ variables. So whenever you want to store something at your home, you need some container, you need some box or so. So just like that, here in C++, whenever we want to use anything, we give something instruction, some data to the computer. So all these are stored in form of variables. So these variables are like different types. Okay, like when you keep something at your home, like you categorize the things into like where to keep all this. You keep all your wardrobes at some places, shoes at some place in the shoe stand. So just like that, when we categorize in case of computer only also, like there are different variant data types. Okay, just like that, it is integer, double, character, string and boolean values. So integer basic int, like all these things or whatever I told, all these are different keywords. Like you need to mention this type before declaring any variable. So here integer, it stores the integers, that is the whole numbers, not fractions. For example, I have written here like 123 or minus 123, and just like that double and float, they store the floating point numbers like the up to 15 places. Okay, 15 to 7, like it varies. I'll be telling you in next slides. So just like 19.99 or 18.6, like with decimal numbers. And here char, so it stores only single characters like a, b, 1, like all these characters within the single quote are stored in char. And string values, like surrounded, they are surrounded by double walls. And as you saw previously, like hello world, it was between the double quotes. So it was actually a string. And boolean value, that is bool keyword, stores the value with two states, that is true or false. So now comes the declaring variables, like how to declare all these variables. So the syntax will be the type, the variable equals to value. So here the type will be the data type, like what kind of variable you want to create. And here variable will be the identifier that we will cover in the next slide. That is the name that we want to give to that variable, and equals to is the assignment operator, and value is the value that we want to store or the data we are giving the computer for use. So here example you can see, like integer my name equals to 15. So here integer is the data type, my name is the variable name, equals to 15. 15 is the data. Like here, let's understand with the practical example. Like if you want to store rice in some container, like you can store it only in a closed container, you can't store it in an open container, that you just pour the rice into the box and it flows away from the bottom. So here the type will be closed box, variable will be the box in which you are storing or container or the plastic box, and equals to the value, and value here will be the rice. So here, yeah, like in the example you can see two part, like one is written above the or and other is written below the or. So both the forms are accepted and no error is going to arise with this. And just like that, here is some my float num, my letter, my text, my boolean, and all these variables are storing different type of values. That is, one is storing double value, char and string and bool. So all these are different data types and it is containing the value we want to store in all these containers or the variables. So here you can also see like how for output, like to output or show something. So here is the statement like syntax: cout my text Shushri, the insertion operator, and my float now. So the output here that we will be seeing in the console is hello Sushri with the exclamatory mark in 5.44. Be careful that after whatever is inside this double quotes is going to show in the console. Like here, my text is also a string, and here Sushri is also a string. What I have done is I have just provided Sushri that in the piece of in the double quotes directly in the syntax, but my text is the in case of my text, it is showing the value that is stored in my text earlier. And now you can coming to the multiple variable declaration. So here, as we want to create x, y, z, all three belonging to the same type of variable, that is the integer data type. So we can declare all the three in the same line, and also the output will be 12 because that is 5 plus 6 plus 1. Now coming to the constant variables. So how it is different from other variables is that normally whenever we create any variable, we are just allocating a memory and whose value we can change later on. But here in case of constant variables, we cannot change the value of that variable further. That is whenever, like here it is written constant, that is constant is a keyword, integer is a keyword, and my name is the variable name equals to 15. And whenever we try to write or change the value of my num further in the next lines, it will raise an error. So just like that, constant float pi equals to 3.14. That is pi. What it is actually, it allocates a memory whose value we cannot change further. So now coming to C++ identifier. So all C++ variables must be identified with unique names called identifiers. So here what is actually, here I have shown you like integer x, y, z. I cannot create two variables with the same name. That is integer x equals to 5, x equals to 6, and x equals to 1. So we cannot create multiple variables with the same names. So the identifiers must have unique names for their use, and it is actually recommended to use descriptive names in order to create understandable and maintainable code. By this what I mean is, if I want to use something like some variable like minutes per hour, that is equals to 60. So 60 is a whole number, it is an integer, so I am creating an integer data type variable, that is minutes per hour is the variable name, that is the identifier, and I am storing 60 as the value. So the minutes per hour is a variable that is like understandable. Okay, so you can understand that this variable is storing some value that we can use in place of minutes per hour. So just like that, like I want to create some variable like string name is equals to Shrilipta within double quotes. So name is actually as like self descriptive. Okay, so what are the rules? So rules is like whenever you name any identifier, it can contain only the letters, digits, and underscores. No other special characters or white spaces like special characters like exclamatory mark or hash or percentage cannot be included in the name of the variable, that is the identifier. So, and also it must not begin with any number, that is the digits. It should begin with any letter. Let it be uppercase or lowercase or an underscore, but it should not begin with any digit. And it is also case sensitive. That's what it means is R and R, that is one with capital H and one with small h, both are different and both will be considered as different variables. And all these keywords like the int, char, and all these cannot be used because these are the data types, and also C++ keywords like return is a keyword. So all these words cannot be used to name any of the variables. Now coming to what is, so basically whenever we declare or create any variable in C++, it must have a specified data type. By this what I mean is, Here, for example, if I want to store 5 in some variable, so 5 is a whole number and it is an integer. So we will be storing it in a variable num that will be of integer data type. So here, that's why I have written integer or int num equals to 5. Like this, float, double, char, bool and string. And you must be thinking that what is the difference between this float and double, because both are storing the floating point number or decimal numbers. So what is actually the difference? Difference is floating point number, like whenever we are storing it with some float variable, we can have the number with the decimal places up to 7 places. But in case of double, we can store the number with the digits after decimal places up to 15 places. So it's actually better to store the numbers in double form, because when you are not sure about how many digits are there after the decimal place. So coming to your char letter, like it stores only single character, that is within the single quote. And boolean value we can store with bool, that will take only true or false, and string text equals to hello. So regarding this character and strings, we will be discussing in the next lecture. So next is our boolean values. So it can take the value only that is only true and false. So true here will be 1 and false here will be 0. And it is declared with the keyword bool. So as example, you can see bool yes equals to true, bool no equals to false. So whenever we will be writing C out, yes, so the output will be 1. It will not return us like the true word will not be written in the console. Instead, it will return us 1. So by this one, we can understand that the value of yes is true and no is false. So coming to the data type and their sizes. So basically, whenever a variable is defined or declared in C++, the compiler allocates some memory for that variable, and that is based on the data type with which it is declared. And whenever we were storing any variable, any value in the variable, we are declaring it using some data type. And the use of this data type is like how much size of memory it should allocate to that particular variable. Like whatever data types we completed today, all these are primitive data types. And there are other data types like derived data types or user defined or abstract data types, about which we will be learning in future classes. But today, whatever you learned like integer, float, double, boolean and char, all these data type of variables, they require certain memories. Like every data type, every variable requires certain amount of memory to store the value. So here it is written that integer occupies 4 bytes, but it actually in some compilers it can also occupy 2 bytes. So it varies from compiler to compiler, like, but most of the compilers nowadays are using like 4 bytes for allocating a integer variable, an integer variable. So for float it is 4 bytes, for double it is 8 bytes, and for boolean it is 1 byte, and characters is 1 byte. And also whenever we declare any string, some amount of memory is allocated, but about that we will be discussing in a further lectures. But like whenever it is mentioned that integer data type is having 4 bytes of memory, so it actually varies because there is unsigned integer, signed long integer, and many other types are also there. Like for as this is a basic class and it is just the introduction class about C++, so I will not be telling you much about all those data types, but I'm sure that you will get to learn about all those data types in future classes. So yeah, and in the next lectures it will be continued from the functions, characters and the strings. Till then, have a great day and stay safe. Bye bye.